Hello, I'm Anne-Maria Nicholson and welcome to the Arts Quarter. This time from Carriageworks, the home of contemporary arts and culture in Sydney, created in the historic rail yards in Redfern. Coming up, what price free speech? Chinese dissident poet Liu Wu sounds a grim warning for Australians relying on China's goodwill. A couple of Croatian cellists proved that overnight success is not just a pipe dream. The year's best movies lined up against each other for the awards season, and a group of young people create exciting artworks against the odds. But first, Carriageworks cautiously opened its doors during the Sydney Festival nearly 5 years ago, after a massive makeover. You can almost feel the ghosts here of the old 19th century railway carriage workshops. But these days, artists have taken the place of blacksmiths and tradesmen. It's the home to many small companies and is a hub for working artists. Artistic director Lisa Havilah talked to me about her vision for the year ahead.
Well, I suppose the unique and interesting thing about Carriageworks is it's located in Redfern, and Redfern is an extraordinary place with an extraordinary and rich urban Aboriginal history. One of the projects that we're working on for 2012 really looks at the legacy of the National Black Theatre as it was established in Redfern 40 years ago next year. So we'll really look at some extraordinary theatre works that came out of that time. The other thing that's quite unique about Carriageworks is that we have a program that moves across disciplines. So we're not only a space for theatre and performance, but we're also a space for the visual arts and music. Sydney's an amazing place and it's becoming much more culturally diverse as it continues to grow. So we really want to engage culturally diverse communities across Sydney.
The Chinese banned him from leaving the country. He escaped to Berlin where the Germans embraced him. And now the dissident poet Liu Wu has made his way to Australia to tell stories his government doesn't want told. And his message is not all literary. He warns Australians not to trust China's rulers, whom he compares to wolves. Liu Wu has been on the move most of his life. From 7, when his parents were in prison during the Cultural Revolution, he was a street urchin. Now in his 50s, the poet is stateless and in exile from China. Through an interpreter, he said he left China 4 months ago after obtaining a German visa, but risks arrest if he ever returns. 6 months ago, he was to appear at the Sydney Writers' Festival, but he was refused permission to leave China. His absence was represented by an empty chair.
It feels like a bit of a triumph that that empty chair will now have someone sitting in it.
He's here to read from his book, The Corpse Walker, about China's downtrodden. It's a class he feels part of after being imprisoned for writing a poem called Massacre about the hundreds killed in Tiananmen Square in 1989. He said that changed China forever. He says through industrialisation, the country had become the world's biggest rubbish bin and its people obsessed with money. The poet is among many artists blacklisted, including his friend, the Nobel laureate Liu Xiaobo. He remains in jail. Liu Wu doesn't resile from criticising China. He compares it to a wolf.
And this is what I'm telling you, the Australians. Be careful, be aware, look at the wolf in his eyes, otherwise he will jump up and bite your neck.
With such strong words, the poet seems destined to keep moving for a long time to come. It's been a patchy year for Australian film, with a low production slate but quite healthy audiences. The best of the crop of movies and television is now lining up for the country's top screen awards. At the Nida Theatre in Sydney, the writer and director of acclaimed animation films Adam Elliott compared the nominations for the newly branded awards, called ACTA, short for the Australian Academy Cinema Television Arts. They replaced the old AFI awards. The movie Snowtown, based on the South Australian serial killings, won 10 nominations, including Best Film, and it's had a swag of overseas sales. Snowtown sparked widespread controversy when it premiered in March at the Adelaide Film Festival, 15 years after the notorious Bodies in the Barrel murders. Actor Daniel Henshall is nominated for Best Actor for his portrayal of convicted killer John Bunting.
You did that, didn't you?
I think people separate me from the film as soon as they start talking to me, which is a relief.
which is a huge award as well.
The Hunter leads the nominations with 14 nods, including Best Film and Director for Daniel Nettheim for his debut feature. Fred Skepsi's adaptation of Patrick White's novel The Eye of the Storm has 12 nominations, with 6 for outstanding acting performances. Other movies vying for Best Film are Mad Bastards, Oranges and Sunshine and Red Dog. In television, Cloud Street and The Slap emerged with the most nominations. The winners will be announced at the Sydney Opera House at the end of January. 9 months ago, they were unknown classical music students. But after posting a pop song on the internet, 2 Croatian cellists suddenly had success beyond their wildest dreams. Luka Sulic and Stjepan Hauser's YouTube video delivered them offers from international record companies and festivals, and one they couldn't refuse: a world tour with pop star great Elton John. Luka Sulic and Stjepan Hauser are living proof it's still possible to be overnight successes, all thanks to the internet.
Our life changed from the first minute video was on. Everyone started calling like crazy. Major labels, TV shows, Elton John called personally.
Without internet, 2 Croatian guys would never be able to achieve something like this, and you know, it's a big democracy actually.
This was a self-made video, the Croatian cellist version of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. Once uploaded, it went viral. 9 million people have hit on the YouTube clip. Among those watching, Elton John. He was on the phone immediately to sign the duo up on a world tour that's brought them to Australia.
He called me personally on the mobile. I was very nervous and because I never spoke to someone that famous.
They call themselves soulmates. Learning cello as children, their lives cross constantly at classical music competitions and concerts in Croatia.
Playing an instrument like this takes a lot of dedication and time, also sacrifice. And of course we didn't go out as much as other kids.
Now in their mid-20s, they never stay home. They've made cover versions of many great pop songs, and they're proud they've made the cello cool.
We were playing classical music for all our life, but we thought we want to do something also different. We liked all kinds of music, and we wanted to expand cello possibilities, make it sound cool and explore and improvise, and this we couldn't do it in classical music, so we decided to do this project and
attract many young people as well to this great instrument and great music. In Croatia, for instance, there are not enough teachers in music school because so many young kids want to learn cello.
The musicians are lending their cello magic to pop for now, but have vowed not to forsake the classical. Wheels and Feet. That's the name of a very large painting on canvas that's the centrepiece of an exhibition in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney. The show is the result of a very special collaboration between high school students and artists with disabilities. Life's become a whole lot more interesting for Jeffrey Tolhurst since he discovered art. Cerebral palsy severely hampers the 22-year-old's activities, but with the help of students at Blue Mountains Grammar, a new world has opened up.
Most of us think the more that people like Jeff and other children with disabilities are out in the open, the less stereotype there's going to be, and people can realise, yes, they can do things and it's not going to be hidden away.
For the last 2 months, the students helped young people from Greystanes Disability Services create artworks, including a giant mural. The Year 9ers found they benefited too, as the barriers between them and those in wheelchairs broke down.
I mean, initially we were a little confronted by the whole situation. We just felt a bit uncomfortable, but you know, we warmed up really quickly to the whole situation, and yeah, we ended up having lots of fun. You see with Jeffrey, he works on his own, but then we also help him. He picks the colours through this really subtle form of communication, which is really cool. He'll look at the painting, and then he'll look at the paints, and if he wants that paint, he'll look at it for longer. If he doesn't, he'll turn away.
Okay, which one?
Does it have an impact on the artwork you do yourself? Definitely. I think it actually opens up my artistic repertoire, I suppose, and just opens up my artistic mind to see that, you know, art is for everyone, and art sort of breaks down the physical boundaries between us and sort of lets us share this united moment, this special united moment of art making, I suppose. So it really opened up my eyes, yeah.
I think it's really shifted some of their viewpoints, and I think it's really opened their mind to how people live and how to communicate with people that they may not have been so comfortable to do.
The project was the brainchild of visual arts teacher Sally Herron, who has ambitions for it to go much further.
We're all really building a community, which is the real point of this program, and I think it's been extremely successful, and I'd quite like this to go out as a pilot program to other schools so they can see the potential of what could be done.
Jeffrey's more contented since he discovered his path to self-expression through painting.
He seems to observe what's happening, and occasionally when he's drawing you'll see him look up and look back down, and as if he's trying to draw what he's seeing. And yeah, he's become more observant and more contented.
I see a vibrancy, a lot of energy. What's also really wonderful about these particular works is the colour, that just the randomness of the way the colours are applied, but obviously, you know, it's working as a whole image.
Artist and teacher Leo Robba has seen it often, noticing people with disabilities flourish when a brush is put in their hands.
One of the things that they have trouble with is often they're restricted in their movement. Being able to hold a paintbrush and use line and feel that joy of movement, I think is what, you know, is uplifting about this project for a lot of them.
But is there something that art can unlock, do you think?
Well, I think probably what it does is it connects with that primal urge that we all have of self-expression. And just watching Jeffrey and Isaac work together, that shared experience is a wonderful thing too. And it's something, as a professional artist, I don't get a lot. So it's, for me, when I have worked with people with a disability, I've experienced the joy of those first moments when I was a kid and putting down colour and just, you know, that lovely sensory experience.
And that's all in this Arts Quarter. See you again soon with more news on arts and entertainment.